Hello everyone, Lucas West here, and welcome to High Ticket Ecom Secrets. Before we get started into what it actually takes to build a store and start making some sales with high ticket drop shipping, I want to go through a few key aspects and fundamentals that you should know before venturing in. But first off, I just want to thank you for coming into the course. I'm really excited to watch you guys grow and progress into an e-commerce business owner, and I'm excited to see you launch your first store. Speaking of the term store, we can start the fundamentals right there. Anytime I reference the word store in the course, it's referring to the online website that you're going to be building where all of your products that you're selling are going to be shown. In this course, we're going to be teaching you to build stores with Shopify, which is hands down the best place to build a store online, period. We've tested them all and Shopify wins in terms of longevity, ease of use, and level of control over content, which are all key factors in the long-term success of your business. They've got a great foundation with everything you need to be successful, including thousands of apps and add-ons, as well as tons of different themes to make your store look exactly the way you would like it to look. Shopify will allow us to add products, manage and fulfill orders. Pretty much everything will be done on Shopify outside of driving traffic to your store, which brings us to the next term. What is traffic? So traffic refers to the people online that we will be directing to your site that are interested in purchasing products from you or interested in content that you create, which can ultimately lead to them purchasing products from you. There are a ton of different ways to drive traffic, but the main way that we're going to be driving traffic in high-ticket e-commerce is with Google Ads, specifically Google PLAs, or product listing ads. Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth with this as this is just an overview module, but we're basically going to be paying Google for ad space to list your products on their search engine, ultimately leading to sales and revenue for you. We do this with what are called, again, product listing ads, which showcase your product, ultimately leading to sales and revenue. You can see where this is yourself by going into Google, typing in any product, for example, let's say kayak. So type in kayak into Google and click the shopping tab underneath the search tab. This will bring up a list of products for sale that when you click the product, it will bring you directly to the website selling the product, which you will see gives you the ability to purchase right on screen. That's what we're going to be building, guys. These sites are making an average of 20% or more in profit after expenses. And speaking of which, we're going to be going through more key terms to cover on expenses. So let's talk about profit and expenses. So as I'm sure you probably know, what we're after here is making profit, right? But how do you determine exactly how much you make off each sale? Well, with any sale you make, there are going to be some costs associated with that sale. There are two types of expenses, and those are variable expenses and fixed expenses. Just like the names imply, variable expenses are costs that can change with each sale, while fixed expenses are costs that do not change with each sale. Your most common variable expenses are cost of goods sold, or COGS as they're often called, shipping, and advertising expenses. These costs will all vary depending on each specific sale. Let's start with the cost of goods sold. So let's use an example here and say you sell a product for $1,000 on your store, right? The $1,000 is the gross revenue from the sale. The cost of goods are what you pay the supplier for the product. So the person that's manufacturing the product, the cost of goods is what you pay them. Generally speaking, this is at most 50% of the total gross revenue. So following the example, let's just say your supplier's cost for the product is $500. That means that your current profit after the cost of goods sold is $500, which is currently a 50% profit margin. We'll get into how you calculate profit margin at the end after we've accounted for all the basic expenses, so for now we'll move on. The next typical variable expense is shipping. And using this drop shipping model, we need to ship the product directly from the supplier to the customer that purchased the product on your store. And that costs money. Shipping costs can vary, but for the purpose of this example, let's just say your product is relatively big and heavy and it costs you about $250 to ship. Now your total costs are $750 out of the $1,000 gross revenue you started with, which means you're profiting $250 so far, a 25% margin. Now for advertising costs, this is how much it costs you to acquire the customer that purchased the product on your site via Google Shopping ads. Let's say it costs you $21 to drive the customer to your store. Now you've spent a total of $771, and that's all for your basic variable expenses. Now on to your fixed expenses. The most common fixed expense you'll encounter with every sale is the 2.9% fixed fee that Shopify charges on all purchases made on its platform. In this example, that would be $29. So now you're up to a grand total of $800 for all expenses. Now the fun and most important part, we get to calculate the net profit. Net profit is calculated by subtracting your total expenses from your gross revenue from the sale. In this example, we have a $1,000 sale and subtract $800 from it, leaving us with $200 in net profit. Not too bad for one sale using semi-automated strategies that make it so you can make this kind of money in your sleep, right? So now we can go back to what was said before about profit margin. To calculate your profit margin on this sale, you divide your net profit by the gross revenue of the sale. In this case, that would be $200 in profit divided by the $1,000 in revenue, which brings us to a 20% profit margin, putting us exactly where we want to be. This example right here would be the ideal sale for your dropshipping business. Do that 10 times in a month, and you've done $10,000 in sales and made $2,000 in net profit, which is money in your pocket after everything has been paid, and that's yours to keep. And I think you can see where this goes if you make 20 of those sales in a month, or 30, or 50 or more. These are just the basics, and we'll dive more into a lot of these concepts in future modules, but I just want to give you a brief overview of what this is all about and what you have to look forward to. If you need to go back through this module to get a better grasp on concepts, do it. These videos are here for you to go through as many times as you need to. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.